In Fort Wayne, we have a library system that is appointed by different elected government officials and the school board. The mayor has no appointing power over the library. But back in about 2002, our library director asked me to go to Chicago to go to a conference on libraries as anchors for community development. And so when it came time for a property tax bond issue of over $150 million to be contested by a petition drive, I was the only elected public official, of course this was easy because I got elected by a landslide, to stand up and to support library improvements at our downtown branch library, which became the anchor for over $200 million of downtown development. The library, our Grand Wayne Center expansion, and now recently a downtown ballpark, condos, retail, a new hotel, spurred the economic development. This was our opening day at this wonderful new library. And all the branch libraries, we made sure were connected with a gigabit of fiber, and we made sure that Wi-Fi was available in every one of those. So all of these branches have given us the opportunity to work with neighborhoods and ask what they need and want. And one of the things that came back to us was broadband connectivity. And so we put together a consortium that included the school corporations, the post-high school educational institutions, the libraries, and we went after funding to put out a bid. Comcast, the local cable TV vendor, won that bid, and then we extended it, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, to all of our educational institutions, our hospitals, and our airport. So what we started by thinking about was, what could we do where there's a neighborhood that's really challenged? This is a neighborhood area where almost 1 million tires were burning in 1998. 2,000 people had to be evacuated. And the average income is one of the lowest in that census tract of any in the state of Indiana. And so Jeff Kroll and I sat down as we were beginning this planning process for the restoration of old libraries, building new or repairing those that could be repaired. And in this location, we said, what if, as a result of that workshop that we went to in Chicago, we thought about a library as an anchor for a community plaza of service development. So we started working with 2 churches, a Catholic church and a Lutheran church. Fort Wayne was built by German immigrants who came at a time around the Civil War and went into the large locomotive manufacturing and service businesses that were there. And so this vacant lot, plus 2 local buildings which were really, unfortunately, frequented by drug dealers. We have more single moms in this census tract, as I mentioned, and kids, lots of kids. And so we said, well, what if we built the new branch library there? We announced it, and this is our librarian, our city council member, and the woman who was the chair of the board of the library at that time. And we had a partnership with Zion St. Pete and built a brand new facility. This is another view of a facility that is an after-school learning program for the Urban League. We also have a Head Start program. And the library got built with a wonderful new facility. And of course, one of my suburban friends said to me, Mayor, you know, I drive by that every now and then, and there's no cars in the parking lot. I think that was a dumb idea to build your branch library in that neighborhood. Obviously, nobody's using it. And I said, well, we have the highest utilization of our public transportation. Every single computer terminal is reserved, sometimes days ahead of time. People walk. They don't have the cars, they don't drive, and there are thousands of residents in that immediate area. And so that's why you don't see the cars. Did you go inside? He didn't go inside. This is a school right across the street, a Catholic school that's been vacant, and that's a senior citizen house. So this is the new bus transportation turnaround, so that single mom can take her kids for an after-school, a preschool program, an Urban League and a Head Start program, can use the library and that campus of facilities, collaborate to provide very important services. Here's another branch library located on the southeast part of our community. We have more Burmese residents in Fort Wayne than any other city in the country. We'll get another 4,000 to bring the total to over 10,000 from Myanmar. Many of them come with health challenges. We've had to open a specific healthcare clinic just to serve the population. And so we teach English, and we provide online support services in this branch library called the Hessen-Kassel branch. As you know, how you collaborate and how you communicate is critical. In each of our libraries, we found this very simple information center wireless kiosk that gives information about everything happening in the library, but also all the things happening in the community. Think of it as an online, easy-to-access community social service networking site. Obviously, it's available online, but putting it in a kiosk makes it really easy for people to use as part of our wireless broadband initiative. Downtown library, 140 computer stations, a huge use there. We have a state-of-the-art, award-winning national use of the cable TV franchise money supporting a citizens-based access system, community access TV, which provides obviously the classic services of providing online, real-time public meetings, the opportunity for individuals to produce their own videos, and lots of programming that supports not only the branch libraries, but community organizations. Over 300 neighborhood associations produce regular television-based and web-based programming through this facility that we have. Wired and inspired, broadband access for all. What we heard from the young entrepreneurs in particular, they said, Mayor Richard, we are going to have to leave Fort Wayne if we don't get better, faster broadband. And so in 2001, we created a broadband summit. And we brought all the people who provide broadband, most of the major users, and we said, what if we could have the very best fiber optic system passing all homes and businesses? We could have the best wireless system. We could use broadband to help us fight crime. For example, we have the lowest crime rate in 28 years using mobile data terminals, using high-speed wireless broadband, and using broadband to collect data over 100 square miles of our community and share that information with all the different public officials. What does massive broadband deployment mean? I know we've covered this and each of you see it in your own way, but it really changes the fundamental way that you can work, communicate, and collaborate. Real-time interactivity, rich media experiences, high value-added distance collaboration, not just distance learning. I'll give some examples of that, of things that we're doing, and quality face-to-face interaction. That's what we can bring to each of our communities with libraries as the wired and inspired anchors for this kind of community development. So we went through different stages. Steve talked about this earlier today. One-to-one, one-to-many, and now we're doing many-to-many with this high visual resolution. And I'm going to touch briefly on our initiative that we launched in 2005. We said, what if every school student, even though they may be 20 miles apart within our large county. Now, large in Indiana is not large like Texas counties. But we have the challenge of 4 different school districts, and we said, well, what if we could get them all to work together with Indiana-Purdue campus, where we have 11,000 students, in the city of Fort Wayne, and a community-based organization called Invent Tomorrow with 300 civically minded individuals, helping us to try to improve our Rust Belt economy. So today, we now have a gigabit system that we used a number of different not-for-profit funding sources, including federal funds, to connect all of our schools with a gigabit system. And what are we doing with that? Teacher training, distance learning, and virtual town hall meetings. Let me give an example. I hold from the mayor's office a town hall meeting with all the government classes in 5 different schools simultaneously, and they can see each other. Let me give another example. We're launching this fall in Fort Wayne a course to teach any high school student out of all the high schools 3 days a week online, high video resolution, 2 days as a come to the campus and meet. We could do it 4 days with distance collaborative learning if we wanted to, but we decided we want to have a blended program in this first year, see how it goes. That's a competitive advantage as we start to see how all the kind of learning and earning initiatives for young people will be critical to their future.